We got Luka's new body. Luka has been seen on a new men's health magazine to where he's been putting in work in this offseason, to where he's shredded his body and shredded all the fat that he had is and this is looking really scary for the league. I mean, you got a motivated Luca right now, and you're gonna have a healthy LeBron James next season. They just got a center in DeAndre Ayton, even though it's not Anthony Davis by any means, but they got a center that can fill in and play the center role. But yeah,
I mean,
it'd be something to see for sure. I mean, Luca might be great offensively, but I still need to see him defensively. I need to see. He even with his new body, he still didn't play defense when he was that kind of skinny when he was back in Dallas when he first started coming to the league. Like I need to see some defense first.
I think you make a lot of good points with his defense. It's like this will obviously help him on the offensive end, assuming he stays skinny, because we saw all through COVID the skinny Jokic photos, the skinny Harden photos. Yeah, it's like this is just peak off-season content. Now, could this give him a boost on offense? When you watch his rookie tape, it's so different to how he plays today. He used athleticism a lot more. Now he relies a lot more on skill and fundamentals, but back then he was able to run and dunk. He didn't do that hardly at all last year. That's just not how he plays anymore. He played a lot slower, almost like Jokic, but 5 inches shorter. But like you said, the defense is going to be the biggest thing because he's not naturally a great defender. He wasn't in Dallas. It cost him in the playoffs a couple of times. And then last year, obviously, with the Lakers, he wasn't either. They picked on him all that first round series. They knew what they had to do and they got it done. Minnesota did. And if this helps him, great. But this almost just seems like one of those not off-season content posts where it's like, oh, look at this guy, like Jalen said about Ben Simmons.
Right. So I wanted to. It might be getting ready to rain out here. Hopefully it does. We need the rain, but what is this going to mean for the West and people? And I seen a comment to where he was like, I think it was a comment when he was on the Yankees broadcast last night, where he was like, "Oh yeah, they all. I'm pretty sure they've seen it. I just don't understand. Why do you need to be motivated? Why do you need to be traded to be motivated to be in shape to do what you were supposed to be doing in Dallas? Like I understand now it's starting to make it seem like Dallas knew what the devil they was doing. Obviously, they
I
got super
mean,
flag and got rebounded after that, but it's still a crazy trade. But now we got to look at it. Okay, why did you need to be traded to be motivated to get in shape? That's the key for me. It's like why?
yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, the same thing happened with Kuzma last year with the Bucks. Obviously, not to the same degree. He comes to Milwaukee and kind of forgot how to play meaningful basketball, as he put it. It's like, shouldn't you be playing meaningful basketball the entire time? Even though you're on the Wizards and they're not very good, every game should still mean something. You should have that mentality that you want to go out there and kill and win. I don't understand why some players don't have that. I've had this thought before. It's like there are millions of kids worldwide that would love to be in your position if you're a pro athlete. If you don't take advantage of that and work your absolute tail off to be the best you can be, that too. But if you just don't if you don't give it 110% to do what so many people would kill to have in your position, I just don't get it, man. I really don't.
Yeah, it takes you being traded to actually care about how you look and how you should want to move. I mean, obviously, when he played in Dallas when he first came into the league, he was more slim and he looked like a wizard. I mean, he was absolutely insane. But then as time went on, he looked like he got bigger. He got a little bit slower. Yes, he was putting up 30, 35 points. He was hitting a lot of threes, shooting a lot of jumpers, getting a lot of assists, but he just didn't look like that Luca when he was coming into the league. He looked when Luca came into the game, he looked like he was about to be the second coming of I don't want to say Kobe, but he looked like a second coming of what was a good guy to say
That's tough. I mean,
because
I
the
don't
way
think
he was moving.
the Kobe comparison isn't terrible. He just plays so much slower. That's the thing. And especially nowadays, I need to actually see him like use this on the court, use his newfound supposed athleticism. Otherwise, I think Jalen has a point here that the Lakers could be a play-in team this year just because the West is so stacked. I mean, if you look at it, there's so many teams that could be in that. I think the Thunder probably have the one seed pretty much on lock. But anywhere else in that standings could be it's going to be a bloodbath, is what it is.
This right here is probably going to make me think of a topic for Thursday, possibly. I've started to think about it right now, actually. Um, this is actually very interesting. This is very interesting. But go ahead.
Are you talking about the American food topic?
Yeah, the way he was, because I'm talking thinking about it with athletes. So this will be a very interesting topic to think about for me
Yeah,
to
I mean,
think
our
about on
food
Thursday.
is has all those preservatives and added fats and all that. The portion sizes are so much bigger. It's that could definitely be an argument here, but that goes back to discipline. You got to stay disciplined in those spots. You got to be eating. I'm sure he probably has a chef that makes food for him. I mean, he makes 200 million over 5 years. I don't see why he wouldn't. But yeah, until we see it on the court, I'm not convinced. That's my thing. Is like with a lot of these guys, like the Ben Simmons offseason tape. You see him drill 1,000 threes in the offseason, comes back and plays the exact same. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely wild to me. I mean, it takes getting traded from Dallas for you to actually think about putting in what you should have been doing with Dallas. Like we all get that you're injured. People talk about he's injured. He had a calf strain, and that was last season. He had a calf strain. We're talking about years of how he looked. It's not just last season. And I've seen some people online talking about, oh, he was injured last season, or oh, he was coming off an injury, bro. That was last season. What about all of the 4 to 5 seasons before that? He looked
I
the
mean, the guy
exact
got.
same.
There's no other way to put it. The guy got heavy in his time there, and that wasn't
Right.
because of injury. It was because he just wasn't making good decisions with his body.
Now everybody's going to talk about, oh, he still put up 30 and MVP numbers, and yeah, that's great offensively. But what is that going to do for your lateral quickness when you're playing defense? You're going to be slow. You're not going to be able to stay in front of nobody.
I
You
mean,
know,
that's a
and
concern with Jokic too, if you think
yeah,
about it. He's not a good defender
yeah.
because he's so slow. I mean, it's great on offense because he has vision that no one else in NBA history at that position has ever had. But he's a defensive liability, and Luka is the exact same way. He's a defensive liability, and on offense, he's so ball dominant, it almost takes away from other players on the floor at times as well.
If you think, and when we talk about Jokic, yes, he doesn't play defense, but in the playoffs, I mean, Jokic at least gets a couple steals. I mean,
He
he
gets a
at least
block here and
contests
there.
shots.
Yeah.
Like
He's
Luca,
not exactly he's not putting up empty stats.
when we looked at Luka Doncic, I was absolutely disgusted when I seen Anthony Edwards or I think it was Jay McDaniels. He just did a crossover and he's by him. I'm like, dude, you're standing statue. You're like a cone. Like, where's the lateral quickness? Oh yeah, he doesn't have any because he can't move.
I mean, like we said, it's going to be this year's the year to prove it to us that he's got a ton of opportunities this year with that Lakers team. There's going to be a ton of spotlight on him. People are going to be watching every single game and scrutinizing him. So he's under a lot of pressure right now to be great.
The
And
biggest pressure. Yeah, he just basically set himself up this way. I'm skinny now. I'm good. I'm back to where I was when I came into the league. I feel more athletic now. Okay, you got to prove it now because now you got
yeah,
a target on your
let's
back.
see it. Let's see it on the floor. If that's the case, let's see it.
That's the key. Everybody's going to be targeting you now. Think about it.
I mean, that's what
Talking about this,
the Timberwolves picked on him the entire series. Jaden
whole
McDaniels
series.
is not a scorer, but was dropping 20 every other game against the Lakers.
Yeah, that comment's right. His defense will fail more. Even Jokic played better when even Jokic had played better than what he's seen from Luka. I agree with that because okay, Jokic is not going to be like Rudy Gobert. He's not going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but he's darn going to stay. He's going to stay in front of his man down there in the post. He ain't no He's not easy to move.
I mean, he's a big guy, and it's it's tougher because he's not facing off against
See,
quicker
like I
guys
was
either.
saying,
Yeah, Luka doesn't do anything on defense. He's like you said, he's a cone. Jokic at least he'll get an occasional steal, and because he's big, he's not facing off against guards. He's not having to guard guards the entire time. Luka is expected to guard somewhat of a guard or forward stature where they're a lot quicker than a center typically is. Obviously, the centers are slower, and Jokic gets to guard the centers. Luka is expected as a point guard or a small forward to guard a point guard or a small forward. Small forwards and point guards are explosive, they get to the rim, and they're shifty, and Luka can't hang with them right now. And unless he gets quicker and improves all that like he says he is, he's going to struggle again defensively this year.
I can agree with that. It's going to be set to the sea. He's got a lot of pressure on him, and honestly, this is like make or break for him, in my opinion. There ain't no more excuses. I don't want to hear it. You got to
I
the
mean,
finals. You got dog walk by Tatum. Okay, now get back there. Now there's no excuse. You have LeBron on your team now. You have LeBron James on your team. Not saying that they have the best roster. I'm not going to say that they have the best team in the West because obviously the Thunder clears everybody in the league at this point. But when you look at who they have enough to get to the second round. They have enough to make a run in the playoffs. I'm not saying that they're going to beat the Thunder, but they have a chance with the kind of talent they have to make something interesting. And
I mean,
if they don't even look interesting or appealing, then it's a failure again, and you didn't live up to expectation, and the
I
pressure got to
mean,
you.
the thing about LeBron fans too is they always find like another scapegoat. It's never LeBron's fault. And Luka is the most obvious one for those Lakers fans. So when you said make or break, I thought that that was really interesting actually because they're going to find someone on that team. They always do. Every LeBron team has had one. Anthony Davis was that guy for the longest time, not being able to play as a center per se. Back with the Cavs, J.R. Smith was one at times. Jackson Hayes was one last year when AD got traded. There's always someone. Torian Prince was it at one point. Malik Beasley was it another time. There's always a scapegoat on those Lakers teams that isn't LeBron. And the easiest option is to turn to Luka now because he's expected to be a top 3, top 4 player in the entire league. And if he's not performing to that, he's under the biggest microscope in basketball with the Lakers. It's going to be really tough for him. He's got to have the right mentality too. And because all those fans, I think Jalen is fair here when he says that it's the most diabolical fan base because their expectations are just through the roof. It's championship or bust, no matter who's on the team. And it's going to be really tough for him if he doesn't have the right mentality this year. Just keep his head in the game.
I think he's going to come into the season with a pretty good mentality. It's just a matter of the NBA season is very surprising every single season. Something happens to where it shifts or changes your expectation or it
I,
changes your thought process. Who's to say the Lakers could be have a losing record by December? No one's gonna like it
I
could
mean, it's
happen.
happened before.
They could have a losing record by December, and now it's like, oh, they definitely haven't lived up to expectation. Now what?
I
So
mean, and
it's like
that's
the NBA season is always unpredictable.
they have I there's not a lot of excuses that can be made about this team anymore, I don't think. Because the biggest thing with them last year was they had no center. Like the whole Lakers need a center joke. They tried to address it. Mark Williams wasn't able to play for them. Whatever. It happens. But there's no excuse this year. They signed their center. So I think Aiton's gonna be their scapegoat, but I don't think he should be. If they struggle this year, it's got to fall on Luka and LeBron. They got to be able to take the criticism. They're the superstars of that team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And one thing before I get into our ending, DeAndre Ayton is not going to be that centerpiece to where he's going to change your franchise. It's not. We've seen it. He's a good center, yes, but he's not the center that everybody was talking about. That they're talking about. Oh my gosh, now they have a center. They didn't even have a center. They don't have a center. Well, what's going to happen if DeAndre Ayton doesn't play up to expectation? What's going to happen when DeAndre Ayton does average? Are you
I
still
could
going to say
very
they don't have a center?
easily. I talked about that scapegoat thing. It almost makes sense in my head that he's going to be the scapegoat this year. Because, like I said, there's always one at least on every Lakers team. Austin Reeves is another candidate for that, obviously,
Yep.
too, just because it's never LeBron's fault and it's not going to be Luka's fault, I don't think either. But there's always someone on those teams where they're a scapegoat. It's just how it is. On a LeBron team, there's always a scapegoat. Kevin Love was that even at times too for the Cavs, just not quite playing up to what he did in Minnesota. But I could definitely see Aiton being that guy this year, and it's kind of disheartening almost in a way because it just wrecks that player's confidence.
I just hate it because um, they always talk about Jordan and like he played against bad. He played against the worst era of basketball, or he played with all stars named Scottie Pippen and all those guys. Scottie Pippen was the best player he played with. That's it. He played with Dennis Rodman. Yes, Dennis Rodman was pretty good. He was really good actually,
Hall of Famer,
Hall
probably.
of Famer. But he's played with one guy his whole
Dennis
career.
Rodman wasn't a big offensive piece either.
Nope.
He was all defense. He'd have games where he'd have 2 points and 22 rebounds. He didn't
He
care. That's
played.
just what he was.
He played with one guy that was a superstar his whole career. LeBron then played with a whole roster of them. You can make an NBA team out of the amount of superstars that he played with.
I mean, if you think about it, starts with D Wade and Chris Bosh, then goes to Kyrie and Kevin Love. Then, I mean, he was old, but Derrick Rose was technically there for half a season, didn't
Yeah,
go how they wanted. Anthony Davis and Luca, that's six superstars that he's played with through his career.
that's the NBA team. That's a starting five, and then you got a six man. Like come on now, like be for real. But that's a whole topic for another day. We got to get into final thoughts. Oh wait, last one, last comment. Yeah, he played. I will say this era of basketball is a lot tougher in physicality, not physicality. I'd say a lot tougher in athletic body wise and how people move. But when you look at the '90s, that was a lot more physical than it is now.
It's just the entire brand of basketball is so much different with the three
Yep.
point revolution nowadays. Obviously, the playoffs are a completely different beast with how physical they are, but regular season games, nobody's trying on defense. The scores are
Nope.
120 to 115 every single game. Scoring 15 points a game back in the day would have gotten you a really good contract. Now that's almost considered average.
And he said they were 9 to 5. So I guess Karl Malone and Gary Payton and apparently Isaiah Thomas and you know Magic Johnson, all of them, they were 9 to 5 workers. But that's a story for another day. That's